What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Synapse today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. There's been a few of you who've requested this. I'm not giving a shout out because I didn't write down any names, but I know I've seen this on the YouTube requests a lot, so we're gonna get into this here. The last time that we talked about it, I want to say it wasn't quite at this high yet. I think that we were perhaps at about like the same price we're at now, and I was saying I think it will reject because we're at prior areas of support. It did continue to pump after that and then drop down a little bit. So a little bit wrong, a little bit right, but whatever. Who cares? Right? Whenever you rejected, you didn't reject too much. Even from this exact area here, that low was 23%. That's a nice little bit, but nothing too crazy. That's a nice little shakeout, if anything. From a low to a high here, you've pulled down and you found support right above your 0.5, which a lot of cryptos have been finding support right around the 0.5. So that's actually nice to see. A little bit of volatility on this week as well. You pumped up to about 33 cents. Now you're down to 29 cents. That happens. It's okay. Volatility is not a bad thing. The week is still young. 5 days, 10 hours left in the week. We could close the week above that wick, man, and see a wick that's way higher. Let's see how it goes. Looking at this thing on a monthly time frame here. Synapse. Do we have anything? Yeah, with more history. No, that's not what I meant to do. Something with more history. Is that the same thing as Coinbase here? Yeah, it's pretty similar. Pretty similar. We're gonna use this one, okay? From a all-time high. Nope, that's not what that was. Not the all-time high. From the all-time high to the all-time low, you're just getting above the 236. And generally speaking, I get pretty excited. I will buy right at this level most of the time whenever I see any kind of crypto doing a retracement, because when you're at your 236, you're effectively guaranteed, not guaranteed, but likely, you have a very strong chance you're going to go to your 382. Even if you are to go lower, you have a pretty strong chance you go to your 382 at least. And from here, that would be at about 48, 49 cents, something like that, 50 cents. Oftentimes with the 382, you do go just above it. So something that could be, maybe as high as 50 cents, maybe even 60 cents, something like that. Kind of a lower high in this overall lower high area, right? That was the horribly drawn line, but something like this. I can't draw a straight line to save my face, man. Let's see. Something like this, right? Something like this. Little bit lower, maybe. I can't. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Here, there we go. Something like that. Whatever. Line of best fit, however you want to draw it. It wouldn't be crazy at all to find resistance here, and even if we do find resistance and go down to zero, that's still like 100% pump, you guys. It's still very big stuff, so it's a nice move. It's a nice trade to make off, to make out with here, and I do think that we are going to. I do think that we will continue to grow higher past this if you can get above probably about 60 cents. We'll see. Let's further define this. Let's see. Monthly RSI. Let's go on the weekly RSI and see here. Weekly RSI from a low to a high. 1618 golden extension hit kind of in that area, right? Very nice. Get above the 886. Okay, so you need to get above the 886. That's what we need to do. Get above 30.9 cents. Just get above 31 cents. If you can do that on a daily closing basis, a weekly closing basis, that'd be nice. You did it before, but do it again. Do it again. Do it again, because if you do it again, that'll likely solidify this as the low. Really what you need to do is get above the golden ratio. Once you get above about, I would say 45 cents, it's time to start celebrating. You get above 45 cents, you've certified this as your low, and we can likely look to move higher. Whenever it comes to moving higher, if we take a high here, and maybe not that high, let's take this high. Let's zoom out and see what would be appropriate. I think this would be an appropriate high to take, yeah. High to low here, 382.236. Likely you are moving up. Damn, man. I think you're going to move up past where this little lower high trend is even. You're going to move up to 67 cents to 82 cents, something like that. That's your next target zone, 28.7 cents now. Synapse, SYN, if you are moving up, and I think you are, you kind of look like you want to, that's your next target area, 67 cents to 82 cents. That's where I believe you're going to go. Yes, I do believe that very strongly. Maybe you find resistance at 50 cents, maybe. And if you find some turbulence there, you'll just pull back and find support here and then continue upwards. But you're moving up to this area. That's happening, okay? Probably happening. You look at the weekly RSI, bouncing off the oversold zone. That's not a bad look in itself. Bouncing right off the oversold zone, getting above the 40, we like it. Yes. Finding a little turbulence at the 50, that happens. Sometimes you find turbulence here and you still move up. You know what I mean? So it's not the end of the world. SYN, what's your original market cap? 53 million. Pretty low market cap. Decent volume. Pretty immaculate volume, actually. That's pretty crazy volume for the market cap level, at least. Yeah, I have no problem calling for that. I think 67 to 82 cents is where you're going to go. And being on a weekly time frame, looking at this here, I would assume by the end of May, you could be there, if not sometime in June. It's very possible. looking at the daily RSI, looking at this time frame, you are in a position now where you're rejecting the overbought zone. 9 hours, 54 minutes left. You're down 13% today. Let's see if you can reverse that. I'm not. I know it might seem crazy, but 9 hours, 54 minutes left. You could come all the way back up and close this day green. If you can do that, that'd be a really nice look. If you close it here red or lower, if you just close it red at all, you're rejecting the overbought zone, and that in itself is not necessarily a good look. Generally, whenever you reject the overbought zone, you look to find support at the 50 or at the 40 or at the oversold area, right? Something like that. So if you want to avoid that, just close today green and get into the overbought zone. I don't know how likely that is. There's a chance where you could bounce off the 60. There's a chance where you pull up a little bit, you still close the day red, and you could bounce off the 60. So even if you close like somewhere around here, you're at the 60 level in the RSI. You could bounce, but it's less common, right? Generally speaking, when you reject the overbought zone, it's the 50 that you find support at, or the 40, or the oversold area, right? It's one of those three zones, if not in the oversold area. So that's not a good look there, but sometimes you consolidate. High to low here. 217% move since April 7th. I mean, that's fantastic. That's a crazy amount of growth. Sometimes you consolidate after fantastic moves. Sometimes you got to consolidate and then you run up. Is this that moment where we're ready to break out? At the moment, it doesn't look like that. But again, let's wait and see how this day closes. 9 hours, 53 minutes left. I think if you close somewhat neutral, still red, but somewhat neutral, I think you're fine. But if you close like 5% or more to the downside, you're probably going to have a rejection off this overbought zone. That will imply lower prices over the coming days. At any rate, whenever it takes place, that you begin to break out of this phase, this area here, and I think that you will. The next target is 67 to 82 cents, and that's really all I have for you guys. So that's all I got. I mean, beyond that, we can talk about higher prices, but I think we should wait and see. If you want to talk about higher prices breaking out of here, maybe $4.18, maybe $11 can happen. But this thing, it's been moving down. It's just been moving down its whole damn life. So calling for anything outside of this range would be a bit dramatic in my opinion. I'm very confident that you will see prices around $1, if not above $1 at some point. I'm not confident on your abilities to grow past that, okay? Not yet. I can be confident. I'm willing to be confident. I just need to see something first, okay? Show me that you're done in this downtrend. Show me that you're ready to break out and move higher. You haven't shown any of that yet. React positively with this golden ratio. How do you react positively? Well, first attempt, you break through it. Or you find resistance. Second attempt, you break through it. Do something like that. First or second attempt, break through the golden ratio. If you can do that, we can start talking about these prices. But until then, I just want to wait and see. Until then, we're at 28.7 cents, looking to go to 67.8 cents to 82 cents. A lot higher targets. I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.